After bidding farewell to the only hunter that could possibly match his Uncle Yvain, Garrick and Onyx made their way about the marketplace, picking up all they would need for the journey to the Holy City and back. At one stall, run by an elven family, Garrick bought more arrows to fill his quiver again. Down a ways, near the Temple of Elion, they purchased venison jerky and some salted pork made from wild boar. Seeing Onyx sitting outside the store's door, the old man behind the counter threw over a few pieces of bacon for the mystic wolf, which he swallowed whole. Then the mercenary picked up some raisins and wild berries from a young woman sitting on a blanket near the blacksmith he and Onyx were on their way to see. After a short walk, the duo came to their destination. Garrick opened the door to the blacksmith's shop and looked over at a well-muscled dwarf sitting in an anvil, holding a hammer and gazing at a piece of metal that he had just pulled from the fire. Feeling the breeze come in from the open door, the dwarf wiped sweat from his face and looked up. "Greetings, Dunnigan," said Garrick as he pulled out his sword. "About to go on another job, Garrick?" replied the middle-aged dwarf. "You could say that," laughed the mercenary. "I was hoping you had time to look at my sword. I got into a scrape with some bandits. One of the men was as big as a troll and just as strong. He hacked at me with his sword like it was an axe. It seems okay, but your weapons are your livelihood," finished Dunnigan, taking the blade from Garrick. After looking it over and testing it, the dwarf handed it back. "It's fine, mercenary." Garrick started to pull some coins out, but Dunnigan stopped him. "No charge. You're a regular, Garrick. You know that," began the blacksmith. "Besides, for the business I just did this week, it would be fine even if you were not. I wish the extra business was under different circumstances, of course." "I just got into town. What happened?" asked Garrick, as Onyx trotted over to the blacksmith's weapons on display. "The dragon fireball has been seen near Parnicle. King Brock has ordered some of the soldiers out of the Crossroads to the old capital, just in case," answered Dunnigan. "I and the other blacksmiths in town took care of them before they left. King Brock even sent 2 of his valor masters, Sevillano and Fennel, I think they were." "That would make sense," replied Garrick, as he slid his sword back into its scabbard. "Sevillano is the spearmaster, and Fennel is as good as an elf with a bow. To call him a master would be an understatement." "Keep your ears open, mercenary. With some of the soldiers being moved to Parnicle, your services may be needed soon. As for me, after I finish up here, I think I will retire for the night," stated Dunnigan. Garrick watched as the dwarf stretched his aching muscles and yawned, exhausted. "Maybe the next few nights." Garrick looked over at Onyx, laying sleepily below the weapons for sale, and then out the window at the sun, starting to peek over the hills just outside the city. "Yes, dwarf, I agree," replied Garrick. "It has been a long day. I think it is time I make my way to an inn." Then he patted his pack and whispered, "And to the 2 people who know more about the legend of the scepter sword than anyone I know."